It's Monday, the 11th of December 2023. Welcome to the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 stories, 5 minutes. Let's get cracking. Story number 1, there is a whole new world of financial planning about to emerge after the federal government announced a range of reforms to the industry which should reopen the provision of personal advice to funds, insurers and banks.
The government's adopted most of the recommendations of an independent inquiry into the quality of advice and hopes that by loosening rules around advice, more Australians will be able to access financial planning in an affordable manner. It's a windback of some of the tough rules introduced after the Hayne Royal Commission into the financial services sector. Under the new rules, a new class of advisors requiring fewer qualifications than current professionals will be introduced. The laws will also lead to the removal of extensive red tape, effectively reopening advice to financial institutions. Now, hopefully these reforms will be legislated next year and introduced into 2025. Michelle Levy, who ran the independent inquiry, said the changes are enough to make a big difference, with advisors being more accessible and affordable in the future.
Sean, we talk all the time about how important it is for people to get professional advice. This sounds like it's a big step in getting more people to be able to afford that financial advice.
Sure is. Financial advice is an industry in trouble. The average cost of financial advice has climbed to about $3,500 a year, and thousands of planners have left the profession. It means many Australians can't afford or can't find advice, just as millions of baby boomers are getting ready to retire. Planners have wanted looser regulations around training, hasn't come until now. The Australian Bankers Association have cautiously welcomed the changes. The banks pretty much deserted the advice landscape over the recent years on the back of the Hayne reforms. Maybe they'll come back in. The super funds, which are being pushed to do more for retirees, as well as those in the accumulation phase, are all for the changes, as are the insurers.
Okay, on to story number 2. Net migration, the only thing that's ensured the economy grew last quarter, will come down substantially, Federal Treasurer Jim Chalmers said yesterday ahead of the release of the government's migration strategy.
The new strategy is due to be released today, and the net 500,000 people that came to Australia last financial year won't be repeated. That number was driven by a record number of international student visa holders post-COVID. Over coming months, more than 160,000 visas are due to expire, and stricter rules will cut the number of new arrivals. There's two sides to this. Chalmers enunciated one when he said the system needs to be better targeted and calibrated to deliver for the national economic interest. But New South Wales Premier Chris Minns, he gave another perspective, saying skilled migrants are needed to fill labour shortages, particularly in the construction sector. Chalmers also told us yesterday that the federal mini-budget will be released on Wednesday.
All right, story number 3, Sean, the federal government is going to change foreign investment rules and push up taxes on homes left vacant by foreign owners.
The government expects to raise about $500 million by increasing taxes sixfold on vacant homes. To avoid that tax hike, owners need to rent the properties out, thereby, the government hopes, relieve the rental crisis. The changes will apply only to existing homes purchased after May 2017, which the government hopes will encourage foreign investors to invest in new housing developments instead. Under the new plan, the fee foreign investors pay when purchasing property will triple if the property is left empty for 6 months. A tripled vacancy fee will apply.
Story number 4, Queensland Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk will retire from politics as soon as the State Labor Party finds a replacement for the 9-year Premier.
It was a bolt from the Sunshine State and comes as polls show her personal popularity falling as the government faces an election in October next year. Palaszczuk, easily the longest-serving state premier, was elected 3 times in 2015, 2017 and 2020. She said a 2-week holiday in Italy in September helped her make up her mind. I'm sure that will do it. She said sitting in National Cabinet last year, there were new faces everywhere. She was working with her 4th Prime Minister. That's when she realised it was time to go. The final word should go to Miss Palaszczuk. She always had her state's interests at heart, particularly during COVID. Yesterday she said, and I quote, "I have fought the good fight and have given everything, but now is the time for me to find out what else life has to offer."
Last one, story number 5, and what a story to finish on, Sean. This is incredible. Baseball sensation Shohei Ohtani has joined the LA Dodgers in the biggest deal in the sport's history, a 10-year contract worth, get this, $700 million or more than 1 billion Aussie dollars.
Yeah, it's the largest ever in US Major League Baseball and makes Ohtani one of the world's highest earning athletes. The Japanese player, who's widely seen as among the best who have ever played the game, was the most coveted target in baseball, according to the BBC. A major bidding war before his signature began, when Ohtani opted to leave the Los Angeles Angels as a free agent after his contract expired following a 6-year stint. The reported value of the contract ranks alongside or surpasses people like footballer Lionel Messi or basketballer LeBron James. Fans and pundits have widely credited the 29-year-old with transforming how the sport is played in the modern era, and he is already well on the way to being considered an all-time great. Unlike most baseball players who specialise in batting or pitching, Ohtani is equally skilled at both. Ohtani led Japan to a famous victory over the US in March, their first ever win over the Americans at international level.
All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It is Monday, the 11th of December, 2023. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. If 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed Business News wherever you listen to podcasts. That also comes with a bunch of interviews and things. Today's interview is a fantastic one if you are interested in investing. It is a must listen. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.